Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. Actually, I don't see you, right? But it's strange year, and just kind of wanted to touch base with you about grades and the MQ7. You should be getting your report cards pretty soon. And as you may have heard, MQ7 grades can be your Q3 grade, or they can be what you earned uh, by doing the work at home, whichever is higher. MQ8 is the same way, um, so it'll be whatever grade you earn with the work, um, or your Q3 grade, whichever is higher. And several of you, I was really pleased, did the work, graded it easy. It wasn't much, and you got 100% or near 100% for your Q7. Um, Others, you didn't do anything and you got your Q3 grade. But I would encourage you to do these things because, you've got, you may go to college, and if you're in any kind of science at all, you have to take this stuff in college, and it can be difficult. Um, what I've got right here is the assignment I assigned. It's the first thing on MQ8. And if you haven't done this yet, please do it soon. um, I just wanted to kind of talk about how it's done. They're really not very difficult. Um, let's look at number 3 here. Um, these all involve the same sort of equation, and that is pressure times volume is equal to pressure times volume. If there's a change in pressure, there will be an inverse change in volume. And so really it's just a matter of sticking in numbers into that equation, PV equals PV. So let's look at the equation. You got a 12.3 liters. Well, that's a V, so I'm going to skip over that. And then you got 40 millimeters of mercury. Well, that's your P. So let's just put that 40 in there. That's your first P. And we have a V, so let's just take that 12.3, put that in there. And that's your first PV. And it's set equal to the second PV. Well, the second PV, they're asking for volume, and they give us this 60 millimeters of mercury. Well, 60 is the pressure, and we're asked to solve for X, or volume. Let's put a V. And how do you solve for that V? You just take 40 times 12.3 and divide it by 60, and when you do that, you get 82 liters. So you have an 82 for an answer, and we are talking about volume, and therefore it would be some unit of volume. So it's liters in the problem. No conversions, no nothing. It's fairly simple. Let's take a look at the one below it here. Same equation, PV equals PV. So it's got a 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that's a temperature. So that's not in here, so let's ignore it. You got 3 liters. So that's a volume and a pressure of 1 atmosphere, and that's a pressure. So that first P would be 1, and it would be taken times that first V, which is 3. And that is set equal to your second PV. And it says, what will its volume be at pressure of 2.5 atmospheres? Atmospheres, do we have to convert? I mean, before it was millimeters of mercury, now it's atmospheres. You don't have to convert. This is really quite easy. Your answer, if it starts in atmospheres, it ends in atmospheres. If it starts, up here, in millimeters of mercury, it ends in millimeters of mercury. If it starts in liters, it ends in liters. So in this case, our second P is 2.5 because it's got atmospheres there, 2.50. And we're solving for that V. And again, if you took 1 times 3 is 3 and divided it by 2.5, you get 1.2 liters. That's your answer. It's really not too bad. I'm assigning a second worksheet here, second assignment for MQ8, and it deals with a second law called Charles' law. And Charles' law is just this thing right here. It's V over T is equal to V over T. So as volume increases, temperature would also have to increase. I'm going to include a kind of a demonstration of this as well with this assignment. But that's the equation. I mean, there's just four things: a V, a T, a V, a T. And there's one little caveat here, is that temperature is supposed to be in Kelvin, okay? And Kelvin is just this. Let me just kind of put it here. Kelvin is equal to your centigrade plus 273. Just add 273 to whatever centigrade you have. It's that simple. And most of these are already in Kelvin. I think I started to do this one here. Let's look at this one. So number 2 says the temperature of a gas is 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, that's in centigrade, so that's a T, and I'm going to add 273 to that, so we have a 373. That's what that temperature is, and its volume is 500 milliliters. So how can I kind of stick this into this equation? Well, the 500 would be on top, so let me just go 500 divided by the 373. So that's the VT on the left. And on the right it says the volume increases to 1,000 mils. So that volume would be 1,000 on top. And we're solving for that second that second T. I would cross multiply on these. I mean, cross multiplying is the easiest way to get to the answer, but when you cross multiply on that one, you get 746 Kelvin is your answer. So so please, people, you know, a lot of your Q3 grades are in the C range. If you're in the D range, ask yourself to do yourself a favor. I mean, I'm going to try and keep this stuff fairly easy. Just plugging in numbers and getting answers. And you know, if you're making a decent effort of it, you should be able to get an A for the end of the year, as well as help yourself out in any kind of college chemistry that you'll take in a couple of years. So I hope you all are well, and take care.